I wanted to make the title of this live stream, The World Loses a Masterpiece Every Time You Miss a Painting Session. Every time you miss an art section, actually. And that's the message today. The world loses a masterpiece every time that you miss an art session. And the way I came up with this, I was sitting here today. I wanted to paint. Part of me wanted to paint. This creative part of me wanted to paint. But, I just kept procrastinating. And I kept thinking to myself, hey, I can paint tomorrow. I can wait till tomorrow. It's been a long day. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your creative efforts, you really got to motivate yourself. You really got to push yourself. You really just got to find that creative voice within you and figure out how to unleash it. And for me, this experience today is this idea that, regardless of where you are in art, whether you're a highly successful artist or you're just getting started, every day, every session to possibly create art that you are not making it is the loss of a masterpiece. Even if that specific piece that you're making is just a seed, or if it's like just an exercise or whatever, that is the potential for something else, that to lead into something else. And if you do not let that creative activity be heard, the world loses out on a masterpiece. So if you want the world to have more masterpieces, you got to paint. I mean, just think about every single artist that has ever lived who has painted a masterpiece, and think about, all the days that they missed, whether by choice or not by choice, and, possibly how many masterpieces this world could have if the great masses of the world weren't slacking. So, totally joking there about the whole slacking thing. I know some people could be sensitive about talking about the hustle mentality. But anyway, I'm going to be doing this painting here. And Omizu, what's going on? Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope that you made your masterpiece today. I think I saw it. I don't know if you made that pop 80s pixel art nostalgia today. I don't know if that was made today, but M. Dot, what's up, M. Dot? All right, M. Dot likes. I think M. Dot likes my outfit. Very cool. All right, thank you for liking. This has been my Halloween costume. Not this hat. This hat's pretty new to me. But this hat is fairly new. But this has been my Halloween costume for like multiple years in a row. So yes. What's up, Kiara? Chief, have I ever painted with that body part of mine, which I'm not gonna say? Maybe. I'll leave that up to you to decide whether you believe I have or not. But what's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope you are all having a wonderful day. We're going to continue on with this painting here. Yeah, so I just learned that this is actually a safari hat. This isn't even like a Western cowboy hat. It's actually a safari hat. So my partner is in the other room right now. So there may perhaps be some of that. Well, there would definitely be some of that happening, M. Dot, for sure. So hey, thank you so much. Thanks for loving the art. Joseph Ponder, what's up? We're about to start some painting. But I love that this is a Saturday night, and this painting session has become an exciting event for some of y'all. I almost went out tonight, but decided not to, and decided that painting is going to give me 1,000 times more value right now. So that's what I'm doing. That's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully, y'all are here for the excitement to join. Sit back, have a nice big swig of water, the healthiest drink, most energizing drink that you could possibly have. Can I play music? Joseph, I would love to, but I can't play music because YouTube keeps saying that I violate copyright every time I play a song. So I would love to play music. It's just the YouTube rules do not support the use of music during a live stream as much as I would like it to, sadly. But hopefully, we can all, what's great about this is everybody can play their own music. Nobody has to feel obligated to listening to my music. I am listening to something in my headphones right now, though. I am listening to something in my headphones right now, but I also can't play that because it is it's an audible book, which is also highly copyrighted. And right on, M. Dot. So what's going on with you? Seems like you're having an interesting Saturday night. There is some things going on that you got people you can call, or you got some people you could call up to be like, hey, what's going on? How you doing tonight? You want to come over and Netflix and chill? Like, so it's always good to have those types of friends during the winter. It's always good to have those friends during wintertime. So, anyway, here we go. Let's bring in some red into here. But yes, we are all here to make some masterpieces here. I was talking to a friend of mine. She had a really great exhibit at a local like a cultural center. It wasn't a museum, but it was a cultural center. And she had a work there that she considered one of her masterpieces or one of her master studies, master works. And I asked her the question, how did you, it was a great painting, but like, I was like, how did you decide that this was a masterpiece? This was a master work? And I asked her, and she said she's a well-respected artist in a variety of countries. She's got exhibits in Tokyo and in South America. I don't know what country in South America, but somewhere in South America. And she said to me, she's like, I just decided that this was a masterwork, that this was one of my masterpieces, masterworks, masterpieces. And that was enough for me to just be like, hey, who am I to even bother trying to debate that? And yeah, it was pretty great to hear that, because I think at the end of the day, it's wonderful to hear that sometimes you just gotta claim your own. It's like a way of saying claim your own power, like claim your own power. If you call it a masterwork, if you call it a masterpiece, then that's what it is. It simply is. And no one else can tell you different. Now, obviously, right, what people might consider it after your piece is 100 years from now, whether they still call it a masterpiece, that's a different story. But I think at the end of the day, it is nice to know that you can pretty much just call it a masterpiece if you like. It's great. It's powerful. It's empowering. But I also think that that's something that she doesn't tell people. Obviously, if you're talking to somebody who's not like a close friend, then you don't tell them that I just called it a masterpiece, right? You come up with a story. But that's the wonderful thing about having friends that can give you advice like that. And that is my story for y'all on, how do you decide what is a masterpiece? Sometimes you just got to claim it for yourself. You just got to call it a masterpiece yourself. So anyway, here we go. We're going to go and use some of this Van Dyke brown. This is a very dark brown. And we're going to just build up around here, build up some of the shadow. And here we go. So Omizu Paints has made an amazing, fun little pop art piece. If any of you want to visit his channel or visit his live stream, it's a great little, it's a wonderful, like animated 80s feeling, nostalgia building, nostalgia creating, pop iconic piece that I feel like would be a perfect NFT for like a modern restaurant or something, which I don't think he actually does NFTs. Omizu probably doesn't do NFTs, but it would make an amazing NFT. And I know NFTs can be a touchy subject as a physical artist because, you're constantly getting emails or messages from scammers saying, hey, I'd love to purchase your work as an NFT. And then ultimately it's a scam. But I am actually a believer of NFTs. Now, obviously very high risk, you can lose everything. It's not a like reliable, it's not something you should invest in thinking that you're going to make good returns, right? It's not something like that, not the same. It's very high risk. But I do see the value of NFTs for artists, especially the digital artists. I'm not a digital artist, but if you're a digital artist, there is so much opportunity for you in NFTs if just a little bit of research. And since you're the artist, you're not really risking anything. All you're really risking is putting your work out there onto the blockchain for people to purchase. But of course, there can always be a variety of scam artists. A lot of scams to watch out for there. But at least it's good to be informed about this this entire new thing that is opening up for artists. So really great stuff there. Oh, you already got it minted. Ah, dude, I am preaching to the choir. I am speaking, that's amazing, man. Already minted, brilliant, awesome. But yeah, NFTs, I am totally pro NFTs. And I am pro blockchain. I am pro legit NFTs, but I am very anti NFT scam. So, my NFT, because I'm familiar with NFTs, my barrier of NFT conversations is really high. Like I'm very skeptical about in general, like of how people pitch NFTs, but in general, I am very positive about them with the right people, right? Like, you just got to find the right people. But that's amazing. So Omizu has an amazing NFT that's minted. Is it on not OnlyFans, OpenSea? Is it on OpenSea? Or what platform is your NFT on? And here we go. So and as we go like this, we're going to build up some of this brown on here. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And here we go, building up. And then we're going to build up this color around here. Oh, you haven't listed it for sale. Okay, well. It's all good, man. That's so great, man. Well, thanks for letting me know. So Omizu, have you been in the NFT games? What are your thoughts on NFTs? I know we talk a lot about AI. We've spoken a lot about AI, but I think that's one subject that that we really haven't spoken about. Obviously, you're for NFTs since you do it yourself. And here we go. I do like how these colors are coming about. So I am going to build up how these colors, I'm going to build up these colors here. Let's see. I'm going to go into here. Ha! You know what someone just said in my ear? I'm listening to an audio program. He said, "Can you imagine trying to pitch Mickey Mouse? Like, you know, Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney, he was basically a super broke guy who was trying to sell a high pitched falsetto mouse cartoon, and he did it. Isn't that amazing? It's a fascinating story, right? It's just a fascinating story. Good old Walt Disney here. Here. Hmm. Hmm. Renoir. And what I need to do is really, if I'm a digital artist, go way to create provenance for work and to get digital art out there. Yes, right on. And right now, what I'm working on is ultimately building these areas up. Uh, and here we go as we build up this figure here. This little mouse thing that we've got going on over here. I think once we build up this mouse, we can do so many things. But this is definitely the motivating message that I wanted to share tonight is every night that you have an idea, that you have a drive, that you have a desire to make an art piece, but you choose not to for whatever reason, is the loss of a masterpiece, the loss of a potential masterpiece. You know, because you never know where a piece might lead. And I saw this great book. I can't remember. It's on Amazon. It's like How Art is Started or something. And it basically features like a bunch of sketches on napkins of how like architects and designers and other artists started their initial design for some of their masterpieces. And it's a great book. I skimmed through it at a Barnes and Noble, but I didn't buy it because I have so many books and I wanted to get another one. So I didn't get that one. But I skimmed through it and it's like a book with a very sketchy front. It's hardcover. And basically it's like all the initial foundation, the initial sketch work of like some artists, various artists, and that eventually became like a master work. And I thought that book is really interesting because you see some of these sketches and you're like, whoa, these sketches could be like from anything that I could have sketched that. You know, you look at it and you're like, oh, I could have sketched that uh, sitting at a coffee shop, you know? And, you know, there's a big gap between being a professional artist who uh, professionally sketches ideas that they're going to use in the future and someone just like randomly doodling. But you never know, right? You never know what can possibly happen with any idea that you have. So here we go. Here we go. I'm going to go build up some of this figure right now. And hope you're all doing fantastic. Just building up this character, this little mouse thing here. And I'm actually building this on top of oil pastel. So there we go. Somebody just said automobiles are the best rolling universities in the world. You can learn so much sitting in your car. I agree with that. I'm listening to some Dennis Waitley right now. I don't know if everybody knows who Dennis Waitley is, but he's like a personal growth person. But yes, some wonderful, wonderful wisdom that he's sharing. And here we go. Here's something good. If you ever meet a mastermind, like a mentor, become a master mime. Wow, I love that quote. I'm just quoting this stuff from this audiobook that I'm listening to. It's called Dennis. It's by Dennis Waitley. He's a motivational speaker, like talking about some interesting stuff. But happy Saturday, everyone. We are just a couple days away from a new president in the United States of America, and we're also a couple days away from Martin Luther King Junior Day. So a lot of I don't know. I don't know what the next couple of days are going to bring. It's going to be pretty wild because people are already taking to the streets to protest the election or to protest, the protest Donald Trump. They're already taken to the streets. It's pretty interesting to me. And who knows what is going to happen. It's going to be a wild ride because I think this is pretty early to be getting started on that type of stuff. But, the people want their voices heard. There are already large groups of people who are preparing to protest, which is pretty wild. So, interesting things going on here in the United States. I don't know where everybody else is watching from, but there's a lot going on, and I have friends from here, from like all different countries, and I talked to this one fellow who was explaining to me how there's like in Bangladesh, like the entire government was literally overthrown, which is pretty wild to me. And you got to think about, like, how does stuff like that even happen? How does like a government, and it was explained to me, what the different groups that were involved, but it was just fascinating to me that it could even happen. So, I'm not saying that's going to happen in the United States, but just that conversation stuck with me as I start to see all of this stuff happening around me in the United States. That's some update for any of you who are not in the US, because I'm sure if you're in the US, you probably already know this, or you are avoiding watching it, but have an idea that it's happening. Yeah, it's interesting because I've been watching the news. I don't usually watch the news that much, but because of the fires, I've been watching a lot more news than usual, and they've definitely been interspersing some of these events along with the major issues. Politics with the major fire problems that are happening in Southern California. That's what I wanted to say. So, a lot going on. But here we go. But, I hope that all of you going into this new year are keeping up with your resolutions. They say that by February or by March, 80% of people who sign up at a gym for a New Year's resolution have basically already failed. And they base that off of the idea that, gym memberships, they have the gym memberships, but the members stop coming in or they start canceling. So, really fascinating idea. If you make it past March or April, you've already started to get into a habit that's going to take you in a positive direction, whatever that habit is, whether it be, becoming fitter, healthier, whatever your goal was that you set this year. If you make it past February, or maybe you don't even start till February, then at least you're starting at a time when everyone else is quitting, and you could feel like you've kept up with it. But anyway, we're gonna keep going and leaving these little dots here. We're keeping this pretty loose as far as what these shapes are, just using little dots to show what is here. And I want to find a way to separate this pear back here. So what I think needs to happen is this needs to be just a little bit of a yellower green. Hmm. Wow. I think I need to separate this space out, but all I'm doing right now is just building up colors where I see them. I don't have like a specific area that I go to. I look at what I'm seeing over here. I'm going to share with you what this painting is of right here. Bam. We've got a still life that we built here the other day. And coming bam. We're going to do this, and that's what we're doing. So, a lot going on. Let's keep this moving. I've talked a lot about some random stuff, motivation, what I've been seeing on the news, things like that. But let's get back to the actual painting. Let's focus on this idea of what are we painting here? How did I do this? So I started off, this was obviously I had this setup, right? But now I have this big piece right here that I did oil pastel on top of a dried oil painting. And now I am basically just painting on top of the oil pastel, which technically never dries. But I'm going to just keep working on top of it anyway because I like the texture. I've been seeing a lot of posts that say the best way of doing this, as Omizu has recommended, is that the best way to do this really is through using like a cold wax. Now, I haven't actually experimented with cold wax yet. I can only imagine that it probably is better than oil pastel because oil pastel never dries. But at the end of the day, I really, the curiosity, which, sometimes it's best to learn from others' experience. Sometimes you got to learn on your own experience. And I just feel like I have to see for myself what the result of painting oil on top of oil pastel on top of oil is going to be. So maybe the results will be bad. Maybe the results will be great. And, whether or not this survives 100 years or 50 years or 10 years, I don't know. I might even paint over this in a month or a week. But at the end of the day, sometimes we just gotta do things and just figure out our own adventure. So here we go. All right, we're gonna go like this. And there we go. Bring in some darker green. What's up?
Nothing. Just
oh, okay.
Can't I look?
Can't
I look?
Oh, yeah.
All
right, and here we go. So I'm just painting through this so that we can separate some of the colors, the greens and the red. Because otherwise, if I don't fill in these spaces of color, it's going to all just kind of like mesh together. Although that's not that bad. I do like the way it looks right now in the sense of how it is meshing together. And how some of these colors are like, layered on top of each other. And it's creating this like really interesting design and this look and everything.
No.
But at the end of the day, I do want to spend just a little bit more time to just add a little bit of better detail. So here we go. We're going to go And here we go. Bring this down. We're going to keep building this up. And just building up the greens into these different areas here. And let's see, where does this need to go?
What's going on with you? Did you brush blue today? Yeah, I did. Did you check it out? Did you even look at it? You didn't? What's wrong?
And here we go.
I don't know why. Looks like you have what you need.
Just building up some of the different colors with a green here. And let's see how we can build up some color right here. Just to help separate a section right here.
And then we go for the 3 millet.
And then just building up some color there. And just finding some good ways to build up the colors in this space. Let's go like this. And I want to start adding design, start adding some brush strokes as we're getting along on this painting, just to add some interesting details. Not details as in like, oh, hey, look, he painted this one spine on the leaf, but details that are like visually stimulating. That's part of my goal, is mostly focused not so much on this super hyper focused detail, but capturing just these little details like right here that I'm making these little brush strokes, these quick brush strokes that aren't adding like specifics as far as copying what I'm seeing, but more so just adding like a different way that the light is able to reflect on the surface here, and to create this like visual effect by adding these different brush movements. And that's pretty much what I'm doing as far as this goes. Building up this section here of color, allowing myself to let colors build up, and to just use your brush the way it's intended, right? Just your brush wants to paint. Your brush wants to work. It wants to lay down color, and at the end of the day, you gotta let it. You gotta go, hey, yes, I'm here to paint. I'm not here to copy a photograph. Unless you are here to copy a photograph. Nothing wrong with that, but you gotta, establish your own personal philosophy, and if that philosophy is to copy a photograph or still life exactly as it is, that's wonderful. You should definitely do that. But if your philosophy is you want to create the most outrageous painting, then you should go for that. If you want to annoy your art teacher who gave you a bad review, and you want to prove them wrong that you can, do something awesome, and despite what they said, then go for it, And I brought that up because I was on Reddit today, and I was looking at a bunch of Reddit posts, and so many Reddit posts are like, oh, I had a teacher who called my painting ugly when I was in middle school, and I haven't been able to recover since. And that's why I brought up that idea. Sometimes, sometimes it's good to just feel that sweet sense of success, just to, prove somebody wrong. And, that way of pursuing art isn't always the best way, but hey, anything that works, that motivates you, that gets you going. Do you want to prove somebody wrong? Do you want to be in an interesting friend circle, and that's why you're being art, that's why you're getting into art or making stuff? Like, whatever that reason is, you know, it's valid. It is valid. Or, you know, maybe you want to be famous for your artwork. That's fine too. That's cool too, right? If you just want to be famous for artwork, you probably don't need to really. I mean, this is very debatable, and this is going to get into the realm of artistic philosophical debate here. But you know, I think if all you want to do is be famous for artwork, you really don't have to like study art. You just got to have some really good ideas. And the more money you have, the easier, because you could just get yourself into a lot of different galleries and shows. But here we go. I am going to build up some of the colors here. And right now we've got a lot of really interesting colors. There's a couple areas that I want to tighten up. There's some areas that I want to tighten up and add some better detail. I've got so much green left over that we're going to find a way to just some little bits of detail here. Just some basics of detail. I might leave it like very very unusual under this very unclear under the hammer. We'll leave a little bit of reduced clarity under here. But I do want to add a couple other details. I want to make these round objects look a bit rounder. And I want to tighten up some of the details in here to fill in this space. Or maybe, you know what, I might even just like leave this little area green and then let these spaces of red just pop. I might add some red right here. Actually, I don't know yet. Let me think. Let me think through before I just keep blabbering on about what I'm thinking about doing. I'm trying to decide whether, because this is sort of what I'm seeing, but I also altered this by making this much higher, proportionally bigger. So because this is different than what I'm actually seeing, I have to make up some things on my own. And with this, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this space. And I'm either going to leave it green or I'm going to add some red into it, but I have to make it up. So that's what I'm figuring out right now, whether this part needs to have some red or whether I can just leave it and let the red just kind of fall to the side here. I mean, this is already pretty powerful as far as the amount of red goes. But I'm just trying to visualize, like, what would happen if I just added a little bit of red right here? Would it look out of place? Or would it actually, you know, make sense? So that's the decision I'm trying to make right now. Nothing too profound. Nothing too profound here. Just a bit of creative thinking, creative planning. And you know what? I see this red shining through here, or this like under the color underneath our red shining through here. I kind of like it. I like that it adds a little bit of like gaps in the color. At least right now. I don't know. Maybe I won't like it later. So things could change. Things could change, but I'm going to keep building. And as you could tell, there is quite a lot of texture. I don't know if anyone can see this, but there is like a lot of depth here. There's like stuff that you could touch right here. A surface that you could touch because of the width of it. So, or because of the layers of paint right here. Let's go. I want to find a good gray. Let me find this right here. I'm going to find a good gray color. And I'm going to go in here. I like this gray right now. So just want to add this. And then right up in here.
Hey, stop. I want to spank you. I wouldn't do it, but I like to threaten it because you shouldn't be clawing my furniture. No. You neither.
And then let's go for a little bit of a darker gray here. A little bit of a darker gray, and we're just going to go. And here we go. All right, so we've added some more detail to this hammer. And give it a little outline.
Stop running.
And here we go. Okay. So this hammer has been tightened up. And I think we can go build. What's up, Northern? How you doing, dude? What have you been up to? Haven't seen that name in a while. Northern Falcon, everybody. Welcome. Northern Falcon, who is a fantastic 3D, budding 3D engineering artist. So welcome, Mr. Falcon. What's going on with you? Is this around the time that you usually are up and watching streams? I'm only asking because hadn't seen that name for a while, so it's interesting to see a familiar name again. So here we go, just adding some more detail into this figure. And working on coming up with the decisions here of whether I'm going to give that much more detail to these or whether I want to keep with this looseness. You made a comic. All right. All right, cool. Just thought I'd ask. But right on, man. Well, congrats on that big comic book. Sounds like it's going to be a masterpiece. Right? A masterpiece. Of course it's going to be a masterpiece. Without you making that comic book, we would be one comic book less. So here we go. We're going to come around like this and add some blues around. Or these are grays actually, so we're going to add some grays into this. First chapter. Yeah, I will. I will definitely check it out, dude. Thank you for stopping by to let me know about it. That's awesome. So can you fill us in? Like, of course I'm going to look at it, right? It's obvious. You just telling me about it, I'm automatically going to look it up. But, you know, there's going to be a lot more people watching this live stream, either in the future or, you know, the people here now. Can you tell us about your comic book? Can you give a little, like, couple sentence pitch of, what we should go look at, why we should go visit your Instagram, what your Instagram even is? What is your Instagram handle? I can find it. I know, because I'm following you. But for anybody else, you can feel free to share yours on this channel. What is your elevator pitch? What's your elevator pitch? So here we go. We're gonna go. It's taking a lot to run out of this green, by the way. I feel like I've used this green so much, but there's just like so much of this green, and I'm not running out of it at all. Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's over here?
So you post 3D art, digital art on the Insta. Did a comic inspired from a video game related to the military. All right, very cool. So, a military style video game based comic strip. Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you for sharing what to expect when we go to look at your art, your comic book concept. That's great. So here we go. We're gonna go boom, draw some leaves right here. So I want to paint in some of this space here. I kind of like that there's a blue here. And we're gonna go.
You seeing Simba's blue brush with the water?
Something going on here with this color. But let me see how I can fill the rest of this area.
Yeah, this is good. You want this?
And let me grab some of this. Grab a little bit of this green, and I just want to add some little bits of shadow. And here we go. And here we go. Boom, boom. We're building up colors in this section right here. And I want to cover up some of this white around these little oranges, or these little red and yellow grapes. So actually, before that, I got this green. Let me try to find a way to put that green right there. I like how some of this is going. I like how this area is fairly dark, but I do want to give this look of grapeage, these look of grapes. So I need to grab some of this white here, try to find like a nice Nice bit of white so that I can add highlights. And here we go. And honestly, I'm looking at this like this mouse, but I don't know what I'm gonna really do with it. I might have to go pick a good color to paint around it. And yeah, I don't like that it has this like little green around it right now. So let me see what I can do about this. We're gonna go, let's take this green, grab some of this red, grab some of this grab a bit of yellow. And it's almost like a brown. But let me see how I can use this brown. It's really a dark shadow. I don't think it's going to work if I try to use it. So maybe if I could probably use this as like a wooded shadow color in here just to give it a little bit of more dimension as far as the colors. It's like a brown, darker brown, which would actually fit in here because it's like a wooded color. The only reason I can't just make the color exactly as I want it is because it's kind of a bad reason, but I just don't feel like picking out the paints necessary. I want to use up whatever paint I have here right now and make the paint with the areas that I need to paint before I go on pulling up new paint, which the color that I really need is like a blue to create this area, but I just don't feel like doing it right now. So maybe just using this to add some dimension around our figure here. And then there we go. And how do we bring this brown into here? We're gonna go let's go add some of these shadows into the pants. And let's see where we can go from here. I just love the colors, the color, how these colors look on camera right now is absolutely amazing. I'm stunned by it because I'm looking at it here. I'm like, okay, it looks good, but I'm looking at it on camera. I'm like, wow, this Samsung is making this painting look so much more vibrant. And I find that really interesting that I can like kind of look back at the camera and see what other people are seeing versus what I'm seeing. Because although I think it's good, I'm not quite seeing the same level of vibrance in real life. But that could just be because I'm so close to this painting right now, and not necessarily because it's not. Like maybe it is, but I just can't see it right now. And here we go. And we're gonna go right here. Let's try to find how to build this in. I think this might actually be a good color for this mouse that we have. If we build on top of some of this section here. And here we go. Just gonna build up right here. Maybe I'm not gonna over define this rat. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna over define it. Or if I'm gonna leave it here. We shall see. And trying to find a way that I can paint around and fill in some of the space, because I got this like beautiful like purpley red, purple, pink going around it.
They can't see me.
What's up?
It's gonna show you.
Oh.
They can't see me.
No, they can't. Not right now.
Okay.
No, looks good. Nice. Very nice. All right. So this is going to be unavoidable tonight. Or it can be avoidable. Anything's avoidable. But I basically want to start to paint the area around it. Let me see, I got this red. I'm gonna get this white. Oh, put white in the wrong spot, but that's okay. And then gonna do a Prussian blue here. And you know what? I'm gonna take this brush. It's another brush I can use actually. I'm gonna use this brush. 1, 2. That looks like a clean brush. Here we go. We're gonna use this brush. And we're just gonna grab I'm going to take a palette knife to grow this. We're going to go like this. And here, maybe if we let's like leave this in a little bit. And here we go. Let's go. And then we're going to go build into here. And let's build up some of this area. I want to use this to tighten up some of the detail. I want to use this purple to tighten up some of the detail around by helping to establish the background and separating the foreground. And how am I picking these colors? It's random, but it's also like, it's specific, but it's also like not totally like scientific. Or it's somewhat scientific, but not like totally specific, right? Like I built this color here already. It's this beautiful like purple, pink, magenta color going on. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to go with something similar as far as this color. And all I'm doing is I am using this color to be the contrasting color that we're going to put down here. And here we go. Just, I don't want to cover too much of the variety of like colors here because there's already a painting underneath, but I do want to make an effort to tighten up the space around some of the objects, just to, you know, give it that atmosphere of separation. If I do one day, like if I was to do this differently, like right now I'm having the dilemma of thinking, okay, do I want to have a lot more of these parts of the painting underneath show? Do I want to have that and allow it to pop through and to create this like visual distortion, this visual it does create a sense like a visual confusion, right? Because you're like, oh, look at all these areas that the painting underneath is popping out. So it does create a little bit of visual confusion, but I do like the effect because makes it more colorful, it makes it more interesting, and you know, it makes you curious about what's underneath, right? Like what was painted over. So, you know, I like that effect, but I also like this idea of creating, you know, a painting where certain objects are clearly separated from the background. So, you know, working on deciding on that balance there. What areas need the balance and what areas I should actually paint over and keep it nice and like painted. Let's go right down here. And here we go. Yeah, it's got a really nice magically quality, I think, right now. And let me see. For the most part, I think we are good on. You know what? I will add a shadow back here. Gonna go with our Prussian blue and use the Prussian blue to create a pseudo shadow. What I mean by a pseudo shadow is, yes, it's going to be darker than, it's going to be darker than the apple, but I'm not doing it to necessarily create the shadow. I'm really just doing it to create this variety of color back here. And at the same time, or to separate the apple from the background, but at the same time, it also does create like this sense of a shadow. But again, I don't want to make it too totally accurate as far as shadow goes. So I do like this effect that it has, that, it helps me to separate the shadow or separate the apple because it was red on pink. And it also gives the illusion of a shadow almost, but also not totally going down that route. Huh. What should we do now? Let's see. We're going to clean this up. Let's go like this. And you know what could be good? Let's see what happens. I'm going to mess around a little bit, and how about we bring in some purple into the red areas. We're going to see how this happens. We're going to see how this goes. I don't really know. Just to add a little bit of purples, a little bit of these purples, just to give it some more variety of color here. And I'm just filling in the space. I'm not even like, I don't really like that. Now that I'm looking at it, it's okay. I don't like it that much, so I'm not going to keep doing it. But I don't mind the extra color. I just don't think it's actually adding. It's probably more taking away. So let's see, what can we do about that? Let's go with this red that we have. Just gonna make sure. Got to get right up in here. We're gonna make this a very powerful red here. Allow the red to really shine. And here we go. We're actually gonna keep using this red. I really like it. This is not the same red as this one or this one. This is a much darker red. This is a darker red here. I think it's considered an alizarin crimson, if we're going to be specific about what color this is. Alizarin crimson. What is it called? An alizarin crimson. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to go... And let's go like this. And I think this could... Not too bad. Not too bad. We got to add some colors over here. I think we're going to build up those colors a little later. You know what? I will use some of this purple red to create like to create some more variety of color into here. I don't like that this is just this big chunk of green. So just something to add a variety of color. It's just going to be a shadow, you know, darker value areas, just to help to create a variety of color, because I don't like that it's all green. Just a little too boring. That's enough to give it some extra, a little bit extra dimension. So, where are we gonna go? I think, you know what, we're actually going to call this take a break for today. We're gonna call this a wrap on the night. Today was a bit of a forced painting session. Earlier, I was really debating whether to paint today, but I felt like I came up with a good quote, and I felt like I just had to make a title of the live stream about it, which was, I believe the title is, I don't know exactly, but something along the lines of every time you miss a session to make art, a masterpiece, the world misses a masterpiece or something, or the world loses a masterpiece every time you skip a session to make artwork. So if that's not motivational enough or inspiring, I don't know what is. But either way, we are calling this a wrap. I'm cleaning out my brush one last time. And all I do to clean it up is I put it in mineral spirits and oil and mineral spirits. And I just do my best to try to like brush off all the paint and such. All right, and here we go. We're not done with this painting. There's still so much left to do, but you know, it's going. I love it where it's at now. I love this color that's happening. I love the color that's happening. I love the it's got enough detail that it's interesting, right? That you could figure out and break down some of the pieces, but you know, I'm not over defining and, you know, handing you a photograph. And ultimately, you know, it depends on how far you want to take it. But I'm going to take it a little further. We're going to take it a little further. I want to enhance some of the areas to just give a bit more definition to some of the parts, but we're not going to totally paint layer upon layer upon layer upon layer as you might traditionally do. But, you know, with that, everybody, hey, thank you all for being here. Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. It is Saturday, and Saturday, I guess the 18th, or what's today's date? Saturday the 18th, 19th? Yeah, Saturday, January 18th. So happy weekend of January the 18th, 2025. Congratulations on making it to 2025. We're a quarter of the way to a new century. And I'll see you another day. So take care, everybody.